You remember Scooby-Doo, right? I used to love that show when I was young. What if we took all of the main characters and lined them up side by side? So we got Scooby, Velma, Shaggy, Fred, and Daphne. Take a good look at them. Now, in your head, line them up based on who you think is the smartest. So the first in line on the left would be the smartest, and the last in line on the right would be the least smartest. I'll give you a few seconds to do this in your head. Okay, finished? Who do you think is the smartest character? Most people select Velma. Hopefully not just because she's wearing glasses. What if we then jump to the other side of the line? Who do you think is the least smartest? Most people select Shaggy or Scooby, although a dog that can talk is quite amazing. I would like to give a quick shout out to one student I had. He selected Scooby as the smartest character. His reasoning was simple. When potential danger arises, Scooby is the first to run and leave the scene. What reasons did you use to order the characters? You just lined up the characters based on who you thought was the smartest overall. But what if we instead thought about smartness for specific domains? For example, which character do you think has the most knowledge of food? Or which character do you think has the most knowledge of fashion? Now, think about these questions. Which character do you think has the greatest spatial skills? Which character do you think has the greatest interpersonal skills? Did considering different individual domains of knowledge change which character you selected? While you may have selected Velma as the smartest character overall, you probably selected different characters for each of the different domains. If so, you are not the only one who thinks that different people have different talents and skills, and therefore we should think about multiple intelligences rather than one overall intelligence. H.Gardner thought this way as well. A champion of the idea of specific types of intelligences rather than one overall intelligence is the psychologist H.Gardner. Gardner argued that it would be evolutionarily functional for different people to have different talents and skills, and proposed that there are 8 intelligences that can be differentiated from each other. Gardner contends that there are forms of intelligence. A high IQ does not always ensure success in life, or necessarily indicate that a person has common sense, good interpersonal skills, or other abilities important for success. Gardner investigated intelligences by focusing on children who were talented in one or more areas. He identified intelligences based on other criteria, including a set of developmental history and psychometric findings. H.Gardner suggests that there is not one, but 8 domains of intelligence. Linguistic, the ability to speak and write well. Logical mathematical, the ability to use logic and mathematical skills to solve problems. Spatial, the ability to think and reason about objects in 3 dimensions. Musical, the ability to perform and enjoy music. Kinesthetic, the ability to move the body in sports, dance, or other physical activities. Interpersonal, the ability to understand and interact effectively with others. Intrapersonal, the ability to have insight into the self. Naturalistic, the ability to recognize, identify, and understand animals, plants, and other living things. The concept of multiple intelligences has been influential in the field of education, and teachers have used these ideas to try to teach differently for individual students. For instance, to teach math problems to students who have particularly good kinesthetic intelligence, a teacher might encourage the students to move their bodies or hands according to the numbers. On the other hand, some have argued that these quote-unquote intelligences sometimes seem more like abilities or talents rather than real intelligence. There is no clear conclusion about how many intelligences there are. Are a sense of humor, artistic skills, dramatic skills, and so forth also separate intelligences? An alternative view of intelligence is presented by Robert Sternberg. Sternberg offers 3 types of intelligences: Sternberg provided background information about his view of intelligence in a conference where he described his frustration as a committee member charged with selecting graduate students for a program in psychology. He was concerned that there was too much emphasis placed on aptitude test scores and believed that there were other, less easily measured qualities necessary for success in a graduate program and in the world of work. Analytical intelligence, sometimes described as academic, includes the ability to solve problems of logic, verbal comprehension, vocabulary, and spatial abilities. Creative intelligence, the ability to apply newfound skills to novel situations. Practical intelligence, the ability to use common sense and to know what is called for in a situation.